First of all, I would like to summarize what my teammate said earlier in his speech. First is that China's rise increases the risk of miscalculation and war. Like giving the example of the Russians launching a weather balloon and frightening the United States into almost launching a nuclear weapon at the Soviet Union, China's rise can also create such misunderstandings. For example, one example would be, in the past, China shot down one of their own satellites with an anti-satellite missile, but such actions could be interpreted as the launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile by China on the United States. Kevin also said that the South China Sea disputes prove that China's rise will be peaceful because that China has, this is a quote from Blumenthal, the commissioner in the U.S. China Economic and Security Review Commission, who said that China has in effect declared the entire South China Sea as its territorial water. Also, China's rise is bad because it creates short, medium, and long-term problems for the United States. According to Fever, a professor of poli-science at Duke in 2011, he said that in the long run, the greatest challenge of a rising China would be China's strength. If China's economy continues to grow on its current trajectory, and if China sustains its rapidly growing defense spending, and this translates into military colossus commensurate with its economic standing, then eventually China could become the preeminent power in the world. Next, China's rise creates conflict via nationalism. According to Zhu, director of East Asian Studies at Bucknell University, says that the Chinese handling of disputed territories with Japan, India, and some Southeast Asian nations may be viewed as assertive or even aggressive by the foreign media and observers. Chinese netizens tend to blame the Chinese leaders for not being tough enough to stand against foreign governments. China will be pushed into aggressive and even hostile actions against other nations in its rise and grasping scramble for power. Also, according to Mearsheimer, the professor of political science at the University of Chicago, the basic problem is that the capabilities that states develop to defend themselves often have significant offensive potential. This is talking about China's attempt at trying to be peaceful by building up in defense weapons. However, like Mearsheimer said, defensive weapons are too hard to distinguish from offensive because defensive weapons can be used in offensive attacks. Take for example a missile like the Patriot missile, designed to shoot down other missiles. But it's a missile to shoot down a missile, so what's to say that I can't use that missile to shoot something and blow it up? Also, another point is that China's rise challenges U.S. hegemony. Once again, according to Mearsheimer, the professor of political science at the University of Chicago in 10, says that a much more powerful China can also be expected to try to push the United States out of the Asia-Pacific region, much the way the United States pushed the European great powers of the Western Hemisphere in the early 19th century. Vigorous protests from China forced the Obama administration to move them further east to the Sea of Japan. This was talking about naval maneuvers in the East China Sea. Now, if China is trying...
Time. Crossfire. Stay there. Stay there. Vivian, you get the first question. Go.
What will push China to aggressive action against other countries?
For example, territorial disputes. The most recent one can be said at the Diaoyutai Islands, where China sent a show of force to try and dissuade Japan from taking over the islands. And if Japan hadn't backed off, then many people have theorized that it would escalate into armed conflict.
Yep.
In my speech, I said that China's massive buildup of, quote, defensive weapons and defensive weapons can be also thought of as making a lot of weapons for defense, but those weapons have a lot of offensive potential. What do you answer to that?
Well, defensive weapons safety things that can prevent it from attacking or hurting other countries if anything goes amiss.
Vivian, ask another question.
In my speech, I said that China's rise is peaceful, and that the rise is peaceful.
Okay. While indeed China is saying that its rise is peaceful, its actions against disputes with other smaller Asian nations have not proved this to be so. Like the earlier example on the Waratah Islands, China is proving to be capitulating to a desire for aggressive